Thanks. Hello, everyone. My name is Oz Wilder. I'm from Defender Cloud product team. Together with me, Tamer Salman, who runs the research. Today, we're going to talk about the three main trends we identify in the survey that we want to dig deeper into. We will start with the rise of storage, and let's jump in. So when we look at the survey result, we saw two interesting trends. The first one is that there are a lot of new storages account created by customers, and they also contain a lot of data. So a lot of data is being captured and maintained in those accounts. This requires special security attention, and we would like to explain why and what are the risks and what should be mitigated. So first of all, when we talk about the challenges, there is always the issue of discovery and understanding what is your exposure, what kind of sensitive data you have in those storages and where it sits. So you need to be able to identify it. And then if something happened, like if someone is doing a malicious activity or trying to leak data outside of your environment, you want to have control on this and to be notified. And then the last one is that those storage can also take data from the outside in. And when that happens, it can be data, it can be also a malicious file. So when a malicious file that comes in, you want to be able to immediately detect and respond. How are you going to do all of this in an effective way? And this is the key. First of all, a cloud native scanning solution need to be well architectured. You need to be able to onboard the solution quickly in a frictionless manner. And you cannot take the huge amount of all the logs in your CloudTrail and analyze all of them. It's just not cost effective and way too expensive task to perform in order to detect sensitive data. So the solution needs to be able to scan your logs, identify where you have sensitive data, and do it in a light manner and cost-effective manner. When it does so, it needs to classify the data and capture pieces of information that are important for your organization by the regulation and compliance standard that you adhere to, such as PII, if it's health data or financial records. Then the next aspect that we highlighted is the access to the data and how can you control it. When you take a closer look at those storages and how they can be accessed, there are multiple ways. Unfortunately, it's not just by like a user identity that you control and can identify. There are other ways as well. And one of them, for example, is a SaaS token or a tokens keys that can be used to access the data, to access the storage, sorry. And those are very common. And you will see many organizations use them in a very open manner. The problem here is that you don't really know who is using it, and there could be an application that takes advantage, or it could be a malicious actor that take advantage of the fact that he can operate with as an entity without identity. Makes it very difficult to track back who is performing the actions. Then the next or the last piece here is the malware capability that you need to have well set and be able to properly detect in near real time what is coming in. And if something malicious, if there is a malware, or and in some cases we saw a ransomware activity start in this path, you want to be able to block it, to notify and immediately stop it. In addition, where you take this to advanced stages, you want to perform advanced hunting. We just finished the panel where we discussed about XDR and how rich it is. This solution ideally can be integrated to your XDR and provide you the logs and information so the SOC team can perform advanced hunting. Another trend that we saw is the rise of AI AI adoption, and I want to take a different angle here, not to talk about how AI support help security team to accelerate their work, but to talk about AI being used within application and what is so important to protect those applications. Because we see here different behavior, organization adopt the technology in a different ways, and they're not always know and aware of the risk. So what is the risk and why is it so different when you talk about AI-based application? By definition, those application, they are unpredictable, meaning that you don't know how the application is going to behave. It has a model, and the model has a freedom to take decisions. So you cannot create a positive security model, do some hardening, and create a profile, because you cannot set boundaries on the behavior. And what makes it even more concerning is the fact that the model need access on the grounding data to your sensitive data, to your business data, in order to operate well and to be able to address questions and information that is coming via the application. So it has a lot of access to data, and it's unpredictable by behavior. And by the way, we see a deployment in a large scales. Organizations are using the technology widely. It's growing in a rapid manner, and in many cases in a kind of a shadow IT process. So security are not involved and not tracking it properly. Let's talk about the attack surface itself. Tamer can help us understand the issues.
Yeah, thank you, Oz. So as Oz mentioned, looking at the threat landscape of generative AI applications, we see several unique challenges. So for example, the variety of possible user interfaces present new opportunities for attackers to kind of socially engineer the application. In addition, the models of the data and the data that is used by AI applications expose multidimensional threat surfaces that allow attackers to insert malicious models, to poison data sources, first-party and third-party data sources, as well as steal sensitive information. So for example, security solutions that aim to protect AI applications need to leverage uh, the contextual awareness and have enough optics in all these layers of communication to allow them to correlate as much signals as possible to identify threats, because the threats are becoming more and more complicated. These threats include direct and indirect prompt injection attacks that they aim to manipulate the application's behavior, as well as other threats like model hijacking and data poisoning and sensitive data exfiltration through the interaction with the AI applications. So I'll give it back to Oz to see how we are trying to deal with the complexity of these new types of applications that we are seeing the threat landscape unraveling in front of us as we speak, because it's a new area.
Thanks, Tamer. So we recognize that AI-based application are probably representing the new modern application, and we will see them more and more. Many of them are running in the cloud, where the models is easier to consume and operate. Therefore, for us, it's a native extension of our Synapse solution, and we take here a similar approach as we took in any other workload, where we zoom in and trying to solve both pre-bridge and post-bridge issues. So start secure mainly mean that we want to identify, discover those models, be able to scan the environment and capture where you have model and what is the status of the model and your configuration, extract what we call the AI bomb, and be able to provide you guiding steps, what need to be done in order to better control the environment. We identify the attack path and the connection between the model, the application, and sensitive data. Then provide you with remediation steps how to better control it. This is not the end. Eventually, the model is starting to run, the application is going into production, and then something bad can happen. We saw in the previous slide, for example, a prompt injection can happen, and you want to be able to immediately terminate and detect and stop it. Therefore, we also provide detection and response capability built into the model and the solution itself. With our solution, you also get the security alerts populated into your XDR and ability to perform further investigation as well as go hunting activities.